Roughly 75,000 federal employees have accepted an offer to leave their government positions under the fork in the road offering from the Trump administration. So just about 20 hours ago, a federal judge allowed the deferred resignation program to move forward. It also allows those who have voluntary leave to continue to receive pay through September. We've heard from many of you with so many questions surrounding the program, the options, and most importantly, what's to come. And we are working to get you answers. Today, I am joined by Senior Counsel Victoria Watson, a local employment attorney. We certainly appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I just wanted to get your initial reaction to the ruling, just when you heard this come down.
I think the most important thing to understand about this ruling is that Judge O'Toole made a decision on a very technical issue, and that's that the union that came into the courtroom didn't have standing to bring this lawsuit in the first place. So the best way I can explain that is, let's say that you got into a car accident with my best friend. A judge isn't going to let me bring a lawsuit against you for that accident. My best friend has to do it because they're the ones who are actually in the accident. So what Judge O'Toole said is that this is not the appropriate people or group of people at this time to bring this lawsuit, and in fact wasn't the correct courtroom to be in the first place.
Interesting. Okay, help me understand. I know you're getting a lot of phone calls right now. What are people saying? What are their top concerns?
Well, look, I think the most important thing to understand when we're talking about this issue is that we're talking about real people here who work for the federal government, who just want to go to work every day and do their jobs. And the thought of having that job either taken away from them or being removed from it is really terrifying and traumatizing for people. So really, we're getting a lot of people who are just concerned about what's going to happen going forward. One thing that's important to understand about federal employees is that they're not like private sector employees. If you're going to fire a federal employee, you need to have a reason to, and there's a procedure that you have to follow. It appears that this program was designed to avoid those procedures, and our opinion, from this point forward, now that the open period to accept it has been ended, is that the Trump administration is going to have to follow those procedures from now on. Okay,
and I am curious because when you talk about procedures, you also think of, the things that are in place in addition to that, the things like unions. So why do they lack standing, essentially, to challenge this? And what does it mean for similar cases in the future?
So what the union said when they brought this case is that they were impacted by this deferred resignation offer because they were having to reroute all of their resources because employees have been concerned and had a lot of questions. The judge said that wasn't good enough. The judge said that at some point, they weren't going to be able to succeed on this case because they didn't have the right to bring the suit. Now, it's our opinion that at some point, somebody will have the right to bring this suit and somebody will have standing. And at that point, maybe the judge, whoever that judge is, whether it's Judge O'Toole or somebody else, will be able to get to the legal issues of whether this is something that the administration can do. But until then, we don't have much guidance.
Something we've heard come up time and time again is, the deferred resignation program. It's promising salaries through September, but there's no secured funding guaranteeing that, which is so important to remember. And what have you been advising people? What have you been telling people about that?
So our concern is that we don't have the appropriate funds that have been, designated for these salaries through September. What we've been advising employees to do is if they haven't accepted the offer, continue to go to work as they normally are. Those who have accepted, we've advised that they should make sure that they are able to download all of their employee files before they're removed or locked out of their system, and especially those employees who are close to retirement age, because that information is really important for them to be able to continue through that process.
Well, that was one of the questions we've been getting, just generalized people saying, what legal options, what recourse do I have? And I know you're probably going to be exploring that in depth, I would imagine, in the months to come. But any kind of last minute advice, anything we've not, parceled out here that you would tell people watching?
I think that this changes on a daily basis. Right. It's changing for us. It feels almost hourly. So we've been trying to keep up with the way that the law has been handling these new issues. And so I'd say stay up to date, make sure that you are keeping up to date, especially if you're a federal employee, with what your agency is telling you. And we're here and trying to answer questions the best that we can.
One thing that did come up, we hear people saying, hey, if I've accepted this, I can't go back. Like, there's no recourse really at this point that you're aware of to be like, actually, I changed my mind, right?
Yeah, so the concern that we have about the agreements that employees have been signing is that they are written in a way that very much favors the government and doesn't favor the employee. Okay. So the terms require them to give up their job and give up their rights, but allows the government to rescind it pretty much anytime they want. And so that's definitely been a concern and one of the reasons that we've been watching this really closely.
If people would like to get in contact with you, are you accepting phone calls? Are you accepting conversations at this point? Are you a resource for them?
We are, absolutely. Okay. We've been on the phone with employees every single day since January 20th. So We're here.
Victoria Watson, a local employment attorney, we just appreciate you. There's a lot going on with this, a lot changing by the moment, and we will likely be speaking with you again in short order.
Much.
Yeah, thanks for your time. All right, right now on WUSA 9 Plus, we have extended interviews with some other trusted sources that we've brought your questions to. You can count on WUSA 9 to keep pressing for answers here, and when we get them, you're going to hear them on air, online, and streaming on WUSA 9 Plus. You can download it on your TV, and you can watch it for free.